and gentlemen, just prior to tonight's main event, could you please be all upstanding? British boxing just last week lost a true stalwart, a young man who's been in the game well over 2 decades. It's an overused statement that everybody liked him, but everybody did. His name was Oliver Harrison. In the early embryonic days of Amir Khan's career, he was there. Also Rocky Fielding, our own VIP Chamber Moore, so please be upstanding as we ask Andrew Disser to observe boxing's traditional 10 bells for the memory of Oliver Harrison. Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm assuming quiet man, the memory of Oliver Harrison, may God rest him in peace. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Victoria Warehouse VIP Promotions in association, live on VIPBoxing.tv, sponsored by Oxyfire, proudly present this, the main event of the evening, 10 3-minute rounds of boxing for the vacant English bantamweight title. The officials have been appointed by the Central Area Council of the British Boxing Board of Control. Steward in charge at ringside, Ian Craig. Chief Inspector, Mohammed Asid Timekeeper, Chris Connor. The 3 scoring judges at ringside this evening are Howard Foster from Mar, Steve Gray from Fleetwood, and John Latham from Barry. Finally, when the action commences, the star referee in charge of the action, the always fine Mr. Phil Edwards from Preston. And so, people of Manchester, from the Victoria Warehouse, this is Championship Boxing! Introducing to you firstly, boxing out of the blue corner, wearing the black shorts trimmed with red, at the weight he scaled 8 stone, 4 pounds, 8 ounces. Tonight is his 68th professional appearance, presenting from Evesham, Brett the Threat Fidoe. And opposing him, boxing out of the red corner, wearing the regular shorts trimmed with black and gold. At the weigh-in yesterday, he scaled 8 stone, 5 pounds, 7 ounces. His excellent outstanding record this evening, 14 contests, 12 wins. 3 of those wins coming by way of knockout, 1 defeat, 1 draw, presenting from the superb city of Salford, Marc, Leach. Mr. Edwards with his final instructions.
Gentlemen, you've had your instructions in the dressing room. You know what I expect of you. Follow my instructions at all times. Defend yourselves at all times. Touch gloves, good luck.
Here we go then, and certainly the biggest night of both men's career so far. The coveted English title on the line. It means so much to both men if they were to be victorious tonight.
Yeah, it's an established title. And like we say, Marc Leach will feel like he's got a point to prove here tonight in memory of the man who kick-started his professional career before, obviously, Oliver's illness sadly meant that the fighters who were with him went over to Jamie Moore, who's taken a lot from Oliver, both as a person and as a trainer.
Yeah, and everyone at VIP Promotions' thoughts are with friends and family of Oliver Harrison during this sad time.
But the main thing for Leach is just to cast that out of his mind. He's a professional fighter. He needs to just go in there, do the job, then dedicate the fight to someone who would be sadly missed.
Yeah, and like is often in these title fights, it's been a quiet opening minute or so. Both men just trying to feel each other out.
Yeah, they've got plenty of time to play with, and as you say, for Fidoe in particular, it's a dream opportunity really. He's fallen into his lap, so he's going to want to make sure he makes the most of it.
You're already Leach on the front foot. He's using that upper body movement to get out of the way of that jab from Fidoe. Fidoe firing a big right hand, just zip past the head of Marc Leach.
Yeah, he looks sharp so far, Leach. As you say, there's not been any major exchanges yet, but it's just a quick feeling out protest. They've got more rounds than we've seen in other fights tonight to work with. It's a 10-rounder, so there's no problem with that.
These two boxed before, of course. Leach getting the win over 4 rounds, but it was a very different fight that day to the one it'll be today.
Yeah, and as we say, Fidoe's had a little bit of a run of form as well, so we'll have that confidence coursing through his veins.
Very quiet opening round this so far. Well, you've got to say, Leach is probably just edging it. He's throwing a few more shots than Fidoe is on the front foot.
Yeah, he's throwing the shots and making Fidoe miss as well, so as you say, 2 minutes into the round, it's definitely Leach's round so far.
Yeah, and quiet rounds like this often decide big fights, don't they, and title fights when not much happens and whoever edges it really on the front foot straight away.
Yeah, and sometimes someone can step up for the last minute or 30 seconds of the round and nick a round that they may have been go down as a losing one for them.
Well, Leach just trying to fire in that left uppercut. Switch hitter Marc Leach as well, we've seen it plenty of times before. Looks comfortable from both the orthodox and the southpaw stance.
And as you say, it's totally different circumstances from the first time they fought. Yeah,
and you can't take anything from that fight really for either man, can you?
No, I don't think it will have really entered Leach's head coming into this one. As he lands a nice shot there.
Yeah, it's been a decent first round, this for Marc Leach, in terms of he's certainly won it. He's not expending much energy either. It's like a little head start for him now.
Yeah, he's got the round, and as you say, he's not had to put too much energy into winning the round, and I think they'll be happy with what they've seen so far in the corner.
Yeah, absolutely, and why wouldn't you be, as we see him making his way to the ring again. Always looks confident, Marc Leach. He's one of those characters that, you know, he knows he's going to win every fight he gets in his mind. He's completely at peace with his ability. Now, and he's shown that recently. That draw on his record definitely wasn't a draw. If you watched it over in Africa on that UK versus Africa show, anyone that watched that fight will know that Marc won the fight. So it's been a good little run he's been on to get to this point, and he's certainly been deserving of a shot at the English title.
Yeah, and even though he didn't deserve to have the draw in that fight, he'll still have felt the same sense of disappointment. So it'll have given him a little bit of steam, something to think about in terms of his future fights.
Round 2.
Like you said earlier, plenty of time in this one. 10 rounder. Both men have got time to ease into this one. Just work each other out early on.
Obviously, you've got John Pegg in the opposing corner as well. John Stan jumps on the mic with us, and he's a very intelligent guy, John. 2 really good corners tonight.
Yeah, and that's what it might come down to as well. Whose game plan is the best on the night? Of course, Leach with the bulk of the support in here, as you'd expect, being from Salford, just round the corner from the Victoria Warehouse. Just missing with that lead hook.
Yeah, his radar has been a bit off this round, but as we say, he's got a lot of time to recalibrate it over the course of this fight.
Yeah, and one thing, both men are very good defensively, aren't they? And that's probably going to play a factor in this fight. Fidoe knows all the tricks in the books. He's been in with the majority of people floating around at bantamweight. He'll know how to get through rounds if he has any sticky moments. And you think on the inside Fidoe would have the advantage. Well, Leach is doing well early on just to keep that distance. Use that slick footwork, the head movement to get out the way of the shots that Fidoe's throwing.
Yeah, Fidoe's not been able to get into it on the inside, as you say.
And he's a very elusive fighter, Marc Leach. You know, people do struggle to hit him. And we saw with the Louis Norman fight as well, he's got power in both hands. One of those fighters that carries that power from one shot. At any moment, he can switch a fight on its head.
And that might be in Fidoe's mind as well, why he's also been a bit cautious and circumspect in the start of this fight. Neither man wants to make a mistake.
Yeah, and you think Fidoe would want to drag Leach into a bit of a dogfight, wouldn't you, later on? Just trying to get through these early rounds where Leach is fresh. No doubt he's the sharper of the two. Good defensive work again from Marc Leach. I don't think Fidoe's landed anything significant really in the opening 2 rounds. Second round coming to a close. And again, it's been a quiet one, this.
Yeah, as you said, he's not been much in it. Leach has looked like he's taken the first 2 rounds without having to do a huge amount of work, which I think he'll be happy about.
Yeah, pretty perfect start for Marc Leach, really. Just edging the rounds, just doing enough. But I can pretty confidently say he'll be 2 rounds up on all 3 of the judges' scorecards. Of course, this one for the English title, we have 3 scoring judges, which is always a bonus, isn't it?
Yeah, just gives a different perspective on the fight, and sometimes, depending on which side of the ring you're on, you see a different fight to opposite opposing judges.
Yeah, I think you'd struggle to give those opening 2 rounds to Brett Fidoe, though, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I thought he took those first 2 rounds, Leach. As you said, there wasn't a huge amount in the rounds, but what there was, it was done by Leach.
Yeah, absolutely nice and calm. Both corners are nice and calm. Plenty of time to go. John Pegg above us calling for the body shots. Fidoe will just be looking to introduce them.
Round 3.
Not really gone to the body in the first 2. And over the longer distances, they can have a big effect.
Yeah, they probably just realised that it's going to be hard to pin Leach down with an head shot, whereas the body's one of his static targets, so he's just going to have to try and focus on the body.
And there was that stab to the body. The lead jab from Fidoe, just creeping under the elbow of Leach. Yeah, it could be a tough one to score this, couldn't it, later on?
Yeah, if the rounds stay like this, it could be the case that if Fidoe starts coming into the fight a little bit more, it may give the judges something to consider.
And if it does stay like this, it'll be one of those fights where the scorecards will be quite wide, even if the fight is close, because if you like the work of one man, you're going to like the work he does in every round.
Yeah, sometimes you get that with scorecards as well, and as you say, Fidoe's not really been able to get into the fight yet, but Leach hasn't been doing a huge amount of work just on our card to win the first 2 rounds, and he's looking like he's going to try and do the same again in the third.
Yeah, and every time Fidoe tries to dive in with one of these shots, Leach is just catching him with that lead left hook he throws. Fidoe just trying a bit more upper body movement to try and get on the inside, make Leach miss.
Yeah, we have to give Leach something to think about. It's been Leach has been able to take points on our scorecards without having to do a great deal of work so far, and his defence has been good when he's been pinned into the corner.
And that's more like what I thought Brett Fidoe would do in this contest. Try and make it messy, get on the inside. Use all the tricks he's learned from being in so many fights as a professional. Leach is still waiting for that opening. He's been very patient early on in this one.
Yeah, he knows he's got the time. He knows that he can, like you say, be patient and make sure he gets the right shots at the right time.
Yeah, and fighters always want to keep something in the locker in case they have to up the tempo in the later rounds. You know, Leach would be pretty happy with this pace, like we said before. He's not had to expend too much energy. He's just nicking the rounds. Just waiting to land that jab again, Leach.
Yeah, he's taking his time, isn't he, now, towards the end of the round.
He's falling short with that jab again.
That's like another round for Leach in the bag. And again, without him having to do too much work.
Yeah, another close round that, Terry. Another one for Marc Leach.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot happened in the round, but again, it's another one I think Leach won, so we've got him a clean sweep so far.
Yeah, that corner seems nice and calm. Just John Pegg in the corner over here. I think he's just trying to tell Brett Fidoe to up it a little bit.
Yeah, he wants to fire Fidoe up a little bit there in the corner, I think, John.
Seconds out. Round 4.
Leach looking for that lead hook again.
And Fidoe's coming out with what looks like a bit more pace in this round. What he's been told by John Pegg in the corner must have worked.
Yeah, Keith Fia's just coming from the changing rooms to watch his gym mate. Just the right-hand side of us. Both men missing with big shots there. And you sense that one big shot could ignite this contest.
It could do, yeah. You get that impression that it's waiting to kick into life. I mean, Fidoe knows that he might not be back at fighting for the title again, so he's definitely going to have to pick things up if things continue in this vein.
Yeah, and both men are waiting for the lead from each other, aren't they? And it's just not come, and the fight's not ignited into the one we thought it could be.
Yeah, you should say it's more absorbing than anything else, just waiting for something to really kick it into life. For the fans watching, for people like us, it's interesting to watch the two fighters trying to open each other up, but I think the fans want a bit more expansiveness in terms of the punching and the two and flow battle.
Well, both men trying to land with big left hooks and both missing. And we said it before the contest, didn't we? Both men are very good defensively, and you can see that in there.
Bit of blood by the right eye now, Fidoe. That may have been opened up in that exchange. We'll have to keep a look out for that.
Yeah, we'll have to keep our eye on it because that could have a massive effect on things. And we've seen plenty of fights before being stopped on cuts around the eye. And it looks like it is on the eyebrow as well, above the eye, which will cause problems.
And it gives Leach something to target as well, something to focus his attacks on.
Yeah, and it might force Fidoe to up the pace a little bit as well, if he does feel that's obscuring his vision a bit. Might have to try and start forcing things a little bit because of the cut. Interesting to see if it was caused by a head clash or a punch. We'll find out from the referee at the end of the round. That's good work from Marc Leach, a left hook landing at the end of the exchange.
Yeah, that's probably his best work of the contest so far. That cut has definitely ignited something in him.
Yeah, and Fidoe was holding on there a little bit. Must have felt something from the exchange. Really good work from Marc Leach, and he just gets back behind that jab. Not rushing any of his work. Nice body shot from Fidoe, and that blood spreading around the eye. Corner have got a lot of work to do on that in between rounds. Fidoe going to the body with the straight right hand.
Yeah, he's having no luck really, see Fidoe. Even with his body attacks, he's getting countered when he tries throwing them.
Yeah, and it's so difficult when you're fighting someone as sharp as Leach and you're throwing shots and he's coming back with his own. Fidoe just diving in through that hook. That might be what he has to do. Land a shot and then spoil.
Yeah, he's just got to do everything he can to get himself back into the contest as things stand. I've got Leach winning every round so far, even though there's not been a lot in the rounds. I think he's been the one who's negated his opponent and landed the shots that were needed to take the rounds.
Yeah, and they're clearly the calmer corner over there. In the red corners, we see some highlights from the round. And that's where Brett Fidoe's probably going to have to be, isn't it? Try and get on the inside. There are a few clips of him on the inside. And that's where he's had his best work so far. Missing wildly when he dives in with that backhand. Marc Leach has got very quick feet, very quick upper body movement. And you can see, so hard to hit when you're in the ring with him.
Yeah, it must be a nightmare for Fidoe, but as we say, he's got to try and do something to really get himself a foothold in this fight.
Seconds out. Round 5.
And like we said before, there's plenty of time still to go though, and we've seen so many fights change after the halfway mark, and we're not even there yet. Into round 5 of this one. Absorbing contest of the Victoria Warehouse. Not sure if it's blood that's under the eye of Brett Fidoe or he's marked up as well. They've done a good job stopping the blood coming out of that cut.
Yeah, and as long as he doesn't take too many shots in it as well, they should be able to staunch it throughout the course of the fight, unless obviously it develops some worsens. But as you say, they've done a really good job in the corner.
A little ticking off for Marc Leach, throwing his opponent. Nothing too untoward though. Leach just waiting for that lead to come from Fidoe. That's when he's at his best, Marc Leach, when he's got shots to counter.
Yeah, as you say, he needs something to work off. as the fight progresses, Fidoe's really going to have to start just throwing everything he's got at him in a couple of rounds down the line, so that's when the fight could really open up for the furious.
A nice shot down the middle from Marc Leach. Yeah, and I suppose the fight being fought at this pace, both men are going to have a lot in the tank when we get down the stretch into the championship rounds.
Yeah, when we're looking at rounds 8, 9 and 10, I imagine that's when we'll start to see a lot of more punch output than we've seen so far.
But he can't leave it too late, can he? Because the fight could be gone by then.
Yeah, Fidoe needs to do something in this round or the next round, I think, otherwise he's going to just be chasing his own tail as those rounds come along.
Yeah, he certainly needs to try and step up the pace a little bit. Have a higher punch output and try and land a few shots on Marc Leach. And you can see Marc's happy just to use that jab, go on the back foot, land the shots of his own.
Yeah, and to be fair, Leach could do this all night. He could do this for 20 rounds at this pace.
Yeah, Leach did well just to spin Fidoe there. Fidoe needs to find a way of just cutting the ring off a little bit more as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's holding there on the inside, but he's looking a bit despondent so far with what he's not been able to do.
Yeah, and Leach is doing a very good job of negating all the skills that Fidoe's got. He hasn't been able to use those tricks that he'll have learnt in all his fights. Nice shot to the body from Fidoe, though.
Yeah, that's what we were saying before, that he needs to do more of. That's what John Pegg was calling for as well in the corner.
Yeah, and he held afterwards as well, which was good. Not allowing Leach to come back with counters of his own. And Leach has done quite a good job on the inside as well. It's where you thought Fidoe would have most of his success.
Yeah, he's been strong on the inside, Leach. We've seen it a couple of times this round. He's not giving Fidoe anything on the inside. Lands a nice shot there towards the end of the round as well.
Yeah, halfway point through this one, and ask you for your scorecard.
I've got it 5-0 at the moment, I think. Maybe that last round, Fidoe did a bit more in that last round, but I just think it's been five rounds, quiet rounds, but rounds that Leach has won.
Yeah, and he's certainly nicking it in there, Molly. It's just doing enough on our scorecards here at ringside. And I think everyone around the warehouse is in agreement with us as well. And it's not been remarkable by any stretch of the imagination. It is a mark under the right eye of Brett Fidoe as well, so a couple of big shots landed from Marc Leach in round number 4. 5 more to go in this one. And you think surely Brett Fidoe's got to try and do something different.
Yeah, he's got to do something new for this round or the next round, otherwise he's just going to completely slip away from it.
Out. Round 6.
Get underway with round 6. We'll see if anything changes in this contest. Plenty of time still to go though, of course. Yeah, that cut's not opened up again in that last round. And credit to the corner for doing that, because sometimes corners struggle to get the blood under control.
Yeah, it wasn't a huge cut as we say, but it was some good corner work just to get it under control and for it not to happen again in the last round, gives them a bit more time as well, so they've got a good 2 minutes to work on it.
Nice upper body movement again from Leach. Fidoe firing a right hand down the middle. It's like you said a few rounds ago. Fidoe needs to be looking at that body with the straight shots, where he's going to get his success from.
Yeah, he's not really had any success to the head. Marc Leach's got really good reflexes and a good defence as well, which makes it doubly difficult for Fidoe.
Yeah, and Leach getting on the front foot again. We've not seen that too much tonight. Fidoe's starting to mark up as well, isn't he? Mark under the left eye as well and on his forehead.
Yeah, he's not taken an avalanche of shots in this fight, but some of the shots he's taken have been quite clean and, I should say, damaging punches.
There's that foot movement again from Leach just to spin round Fidoe. Every now and again Fidoe lands the odd shot, but he just can't seem to capitalise on it. Nice jab from Leach, and Fidoe coming back with the right hand. Fidoe seems to be waiting for that lead to come from Leach, doesn't he?
Yeah, and he's just been waiting and waiting, and when the lead on the rare occasions has come, he's not been able to counter it, so it's a bit of a losing plan for him at the moment.
Little body shot landing from Marc Leach on the inside.
As you say, Leach has been good on the inside when they have got mauling and up close.
It's been a bit of a surprise that Leach seems to get the upper hand when they are in close and holding. Got to be careful when he rushes in like that, Leach. Head and shoulder coming very close. And they spent a lot of time in close, but it's been quite a clean fight. The referee hasn't had too much to do.
Yeah, it's been a messy at times in close, but like you say, there's been no fouls committed.
Yeah, they both seem to be working their way out of the clinches as well. Come towards the end of the sixth. In a fight that's yet to ignite, but if you're in that red corner, you'd be pretty happy with the way things are going.
I think the disappointing thing from Fidoe's people is that this is his big opportunity, but he's not just been able to do anything with Leach in front of him.
Yeah, Brett Fidoe sitting on his stool there in the corner, and what can this corner tell him? What will John Pegg be saying, do you think?
I reckon they'll be telling him, as we said before, to try and if he can't hit the head, to try and get the body and have a bit more intensity about it. But that's easier said than done when you're fighting someone who's quite elusive, who's also tagging you with their own shots.
And he's got to start forcing it now, Brett Fidoe. He can't afford to give away another round. Time's running out in this one.
Yeah, I've got him 6-0 at the moment, Leach.
Yeah, and for Marc Leach, you'll be hoping it stays the same because he hasn't really had to break stride or get out of first gear.
Yeah, and he can just, like we said, he could do this all night if this is what the tempo and the rhythm of the fight. He'll breeze through these 10 rounds.
Looks nice and calm in that corner as well.
10 seconds, corners.
John Pegg, a bit animated in the Fidoe corner, and rightly so.
Yeah, he's asking for a right hand and a left hook as well.
Round 7.
Yeah, they're certainly going to have to change something if they are going to come out on top. Nice jab from Leach, straight down the middle. Fidoe's upper body movement just seems to have slowed down a little bit as well.
Yeah, and he took a good shot there as well. The way Fidoe's got to look at it now, it's a 4-round fight. He's got to try and win the 4 rounds and hope for the best with the judges, but it's not looking good for him at the moment.
No, absolutely not, and there's still no urgency. She thought there would be coming out for this round. And Fidoe just holding on the inside.
You should say he's marked up a little bit, but not too much, and if he just needs that injection of urgency just so that he can go home and say that he gave it absolutely 100%.
Nice upper body movement from Fidoe to get out of the way of that shot from Leach. Both men landing decent body shots on the inside. Leach has done a good job of negating the skills that Fidoe's got.
Yes, you say he's an underrated fighter. Fidoe, he's got good defensive ability himself, but Leach has managed to pick the shots that he's needed to win the round so far.
Just missing with that backhand, Leach. He seems to have upped his output a little bit in this round than we've seen in the previous few, Marc Leach. Nice body shot again.
Yeah, we'll be thinking now he's got points in the bag. Jamie May told him to go out and throw a bit more, few more shots, and the fans home happy. But I think the fans will be happy if they see him raise that trophy either way.
Yeah, Fidoe missing again. Been really good this from Marc Leach. And it's not going to be one of those fights that contender for fight of the year, but he's just getting the job done, and that's all you can ask of a fighter.
It's a good mature performance. He's been technically sound as well, and he's not giving Fidoe any chance to get his teeth into the fight early.
Yeah, he's not let the occasion get to him either, Marc Leach. Nice and composed throughout. Fidoe looking for a big right hand over the top. $30 to go with the 7th round. Scheduled for 10.
Rushed his weight there a little bit, Leach. Seemed a little bit annoyed with himself. He just needs to go back to what he was doing.
Yeah, Trav in the corner, just asking him to up the gears, because he's still in first gear, isn't he?
Yeah.
We've not seen those flash combinations like he's just thrown in front of us.
And he got the opportunity to do that because Fidoe opened up a little bit and gave him some opportunities.
Yeah, and we might see Leach having a lot more success as the rounds go on when Fidoe gets a bit more desperate.
Yeah, as we say now, as we predicted earlier, we're going into the final 3 rounds with Fidoe well behind in this fight. He's just going to have to try and do something to change that.
Yeah, and that might play into the hands of Leach as well. More opportunities to throw his shots and his flash combinations, and the style that Marc Leach has, the flash combinations can win him rounds. Hashtag VIP Boxing Live on Twitter. Get commenting on the Facebook stream as well. All the usual platforms. Been a great night of boxing here at the Victoria Warehouse. Who's impressed you the most? Let us know. Been a few good stoppages and a few good performances as well. We had an upset with the draw. Everything tonight. Live on Twitch as well. Plenty of platforms you can watch us on tonight. It's been a really good night of boxing.
Round 8.
And as we say, crucial round now for Fidoe. He needs to change the pattern of this fight, otherwise he's going to go down quite a handy loser.
Yeah, and Leach will be able to see the finish line now.
And like we say, Leach could do this all night. He's not been unduly troubled by anything coming in this direction.
Fidoe looking for that body shot again on the inside. Oh, but Leach won't mind being on the inside now. Just ticking down the seconds.
But again, we see more of the same from Fidoe. He's not really doing anything to switch up, which probably is doing a disservice to Leach's performance because he's not really giving him any chance to do that.
Yeah, and it's yet to ignite. We thought that Fidoe would come out in this round and change something. But the fight's been the same pattern from the first bell. Marc Leach has looked in control.
Yeah, and I think the fundamental problem is that Fidoe can't do anything to change the pattern of this fight, and as frustrating as it will be for him, he's come up against someone who's better than him, and that sometimes happens, and you can't draw them into a dogfight and make it more of an even playing field.
Looking for that body shot again, Leach on the inside. And this is comfortable range, isn't it, for the home fighter?
Yeah, and as we say, he's had a quiet round this round, Leach, but he's still not had anything to trouble him in terms of what's coming in this direction, and he's still landing his own crisper shots when the time comes to throw them.
Just over a minute to go this 8th round. 2 to come after this one. And interesting to see how the 3 scoring judges have got this one so far, if they're in agreement with us or they see it differently. Leach again missing with that backhand. Considering he's won every round, he's not landed any real significant shots yet. Nice left hook from Fidoe, and Leach came back with a shot of his own.
Yeah, that was more like it from Fidoe, I think.
Yeah, that's what he's going to have to do now.
The problem he's got is he's running out of time to do it, so as you say, he just needs to try and throw caution to the wind there.
Last 30 seconds of round number 8. Nice jab again from Leach. Just keeping Fidoe at the range he wants him to be. Fidoe's had a bit of success in this round, more so than he has in any other one.
Yeah, he's losing the round, but as you say, he's had more success in this round than he's had at any point in the fight previously. He needs to come out the next round and see if he can build on this small measure of success.
Another round down. You've got to say, Marc Leach has ran away with it tonight.
Yeah, I can't say anything other than a shutout as things stand at the moment, even though there's not been a huge amount of punches thrown. As we said, he's controlled the rounds.
Two more to go, and he's just got to throw everything at this now, Brett Fidoe. We've said it so many times during this fight.
Yeah, he's just got to realise at this point he's got nothing to lose and everything to gain. He might not want to commit because he knows that he can be countered, but at this point he's just got to go out there and try to do something.
Yeah, that's the message from the corner. Forget about everything that's happened. You've got 6 minutes to win the English title. For a fighter like Brett Fidoe as well,
10 seconds, corners.
You don't know if he'll get this opportunity again.
Yeah, as we said earlier on, he might only roll around on this occasion because of his run of recent good form.
And if he is to lose tonight, it'd be interesting to see what happens if he does still have that ambition to get wins on the road.
But I think he's just been unfortunate. He's come against an opponent who's got a particular style and skill set that's made it really difficult for Fidoe to get his way into the fight. It's difficult for him to land clean punches or consecutive clean punches when on the occasions that he has managed to land.
Yeah, it's a difficult style to come up with a game plan against as well. The elusiveness of Marc Leach. He's certainly upped his tempo here, Fidoe, though, in the ninth.
Yeah, he's doing in the ninth what he should have done, start doing in the first. He might look back at this fight with a lot of regrets if it goes the way we think it's going to go.
First real wild shot that Leach has thrown there. Nice 1-2 though.
Yeah, it's been very composed and controlled, Leach.
Yeah, it's been a clever performance really, isn't it? 'Cause he's just doing enough.
Yeah, technically it's very good as well, as you say, with the switches in and the different stances. It's very bamboozling for any opponent who goes in there with him, and it's going to make him a very difficult fighter to beat. He obviously lost his pro debut, but since then he's gone from strength to strength.
Yeah, and 4.5 minutes to go with this one. I think there's no doubt who's going to get the hand raised if the pattern continues, and then the domestic scene really, he's up there.
Yeah, it's like we said, it's a good building block, the English title. Sets him up for really good fights in the future, and having the title makes him a bit more marketable as well.
Yeah, and we've already seen he's not afraid to go on the road, travel to opponents' backyards and fight there, which will put him in good stead when he challenges for further titles if he is to go on and win tonight. Minute to go with the ninth. And again, Fidoe's just not doing enough.
Yeah, he's just not been able to tonight. I see Fidoe, he probably won't look back on this with regrets in terms of his performance, because he's just not been able to produce what he probably thought he could have produced against Leach because of Leach's dominance and superiority and ability.
Yeah, and it's not for a lack of trying in there at all. Just sometimes you get in the ring and your opponent's better than you, and that's been the case tonight.
Yeah, and people might say, why didn't he throw more at it? But again, he's been countered when he does try and open up, so that's given him something to really think about.
Yeah, and Leach is executing a perfect game plan as well to deal with someone like Brett Fidoe.
Yeah, and that's clearly, I think, something they'll have worked out before the fight, how to not only win the fight, put in a good performance, but make sure that he's not getting caught with silly shots.
Yeah, absolutely, and the game plan is working, and we said it might come down to the corners.
Yeah, and John Pegg, I think, to be fair, has not been able to affect a change because, as we said, his fight is dealing with someone who's just got better skills and ability than him, and really good reflexes, and is really difficult to tag with not only one clean punch but consecutive punches.
One more round to go, and barring anything dramatic, I think Salford's going to have a new English champion.
Yeah, as you say, it'd have to be a really dramatic round for it to fall apart for Leach.
He's just going to have to throw everything at it, isn't he, now? The only way he's going to get anything out of this.
Yeah, but I think we'd be expecting Fidoe to come out with a bit more pace in this round, but I just don't think he's been able to, and you're probably going to see more of the same. It's one of those fights where every single round has pretty much been a replication of the previous one.
Seconds out for the 10th and final round.
3 more minutes to go with this one then. A fight that's not captured the imagination like we thought it would do, but it's just been a workmanlike performance from Marc Leach getting the job done.
Yeah, and as I say, when he looks back on this fight, he'll be happy with his performance, but the most important thing is that he comes out of it with the title. I've got him 9 rounds to 0 at the moment. He'd have to fall apart spectacularly in order for him to lose this fight.
Yeah, and I certainly can't see that happening. And Leach is happy there now, isn't he, in this last round? Just ticking down the seconds.
Yeah, he knows Leach he'll be scoring the fight in his head as well. His corner team will be telling him their interpretation of the fight, and it's not really anything for Fidoe to latch onto in terms of his own performance.
I've been impressed with Marc Leach tonight. He's shown a different side that he hasn't shown before. That he can grit it out and without doing anything remarkable, just edge the round.
Yeah, and he's been patient as well. He may earlier on in the fight, thought there wasn't a lot of punches coming out from this side of the equation, but his team will have told him to keep doing what he's doing, and he's going to reap the benefits for the Met. And he's not had to go to the well in any respects in this fight, so it's been a very smooth performance.
Yeah, plenty left in the tank. Nice left uppercut from Leach.
And as we said, he could do this all night.
Yeah, he's just started to pick Fidoe off now in this last round as he starts to take risks.
And he's built himself into a platform where he can take those risks and start to look for an impressive final 9 minute of the fight.
Yep, and he's got one hand on that English title belt already. Brilliant performances so far from Marc Leach from the start throughout, and he's really putting it on Brett Fidoe now with a minute to go. Finishing with a flurry.
Yeah, he knows that the end is in sight, and like we said, he wants to send people home happy. They'll be happy that he's won the title, but they'll want a nice final minute for his fans to remember.
Nice work on the inside from Leach just to tie Fidoe up, stop him working. Nice right hand that from Brett Fidoe.
Yeah, right towards the end of the fight. That's the type of stuff we were looking for earlier in the fight, and he's starting to throw a few more punches now on the success of that. But again, when he does, he gets countered, even though Fidoe, again, just threw a nice right hand to the body as well.
Yeah, he's just landed a couple of shots here, Fidoe, to give Leach something to think about, but it's too little too late.
Yeah, we've seen in the last minute of the fight what we may have expected earlier on in the fight, but Fidoe's just not been able to do it, and in the second minute of this round, Leach started to throw a few more punches. Fidoe started to land a few more punches of his own, but that was not the pattern earlier on in the fight, just because Leach was so effective at what he was doing and not taking any risks.
Yeah, the final few seconds of this one. Credit to Brett Fidoe, who's put everything into this, but there's only one winner. And Marc Leach in that red corner is going to be taking that English title belt home with him.
Yeah, people may look at the fight and the pace of the fight and think Fidoe's not giving 100%, but as you said, he's put everything he could into this fight. That was the best he could do against this particular opponent, and sometimes you just get in there and the person's better than you.
And we'll wait to find out the official result from the 3 scoring judges just being totted up at ringside.
I'd be surprised to say if it's not 3 scores of 100 to 90. Obviously, judges see things slightly differently, but I think Leach has been dominant tonight without being dominating.
Yep, and another title to add to that flourishing gym that Jamie Moore and Nigel Travis are building.
And it's nice for the entire team as well, the tough week they've had to put it behind them with something like this.
Yeah, absolutely, and you can see the English title belt in there at the moment. In a few moments' time, it'll be round the waist of Marc Leach. MC Michael Pass is just waiting for the scorecards to be passed over. See how the 3 scoring judges at ringside have got this one.
But yeah, like we say, anything than a shutout, maybe a sympathy card for Leach, but I can't see anything than a shutout on the judges' scorecards.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's been a very good performance, and he's ready to step up now, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's ready to step up, as you say. He's got the English belt, defend it, then start looking around the division and seeing which fights Steve can try and pick out for him.
And here is MC Michael Bass for the final time tonight to announce the official result of the English title bout here at the Victoria Warehouse.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 observing rounds of championship boxing, here are the judges' score totals. Judge Steve Gray scored the contest 100 to 91, Judge John Latham 99 to 91, and Judge Howard Foster 100 to 90. All 3 judges in favour of the winner by way of unanimous decision, and the new English bantamweight champion from the superb city of Salford, Marc Leach. Your appreciation, please, for Brett Fidoe.
There we have it then. A couple of rounds given to Fidoe on the cards, but the right man certainly won it. It was a good performance, that, without being remarkable.
Yeah, it's a good performance and something for him to build on as well, in terms of both the performance and the fact he's now got a title, and it just makes it easier as a promoter for Steve Wood to promote him and get him the key fights that he wants.
On behalf of everybody concerned with tonight's promotion, thank you for your attendance. We're back next week in Bolton. If you've still got a club, double championship boxing next week, but you can't be there. be in attendance via your monitor. VIPboxing.tv, also Facebook and Twitter. I'll hand you over to our wonderful, wonderful young man, Fidoe himself. Thank you.
For all boxing, info, news and latest interviews, amateur and pro, across the north, click and subscribe. VIP Boxing Promotions. Also, Twitter, Instagram and Facebook.